Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I'm your host, founder of Voices for Voices, Justin Allen Hayes. Thank you so much for joining us. If you can give us a big thumbs up, a like, share, follow, subscribe, all those good things are free. That would greatly help us reach and help as many people as possible to go towards that big lofty goal that we have of helping 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. We can't do this without you. So whether you're watching, whether you're listening, whether you're here in the United States or Northeast Ohio, or whether you're somewhere else across the world, we're approaching 80 countries, which is mind-blowing to me at this point, getting closer to 800 cities worldwide. And we can't do this without you. And your support. So thank you for all you've done, whether it's small or big, whether you're a sponsor, whether you hit that subscribe button. All those things really help us. And you probably noticed between as we go in July and August versus a month prior, we have actually cut quite a few episodes on current events and topics that are really touching Voices for Voices and the world around us and that we live in. And so you're going to find a bunch of episodes. We're going to definitely, between in studio here and out of studio episodes, we're going to actually eclipse 300 total episodes for by the time 2025 calendar year ends, and that's just remarkable. We're not going to stop at 300, so don't be surprised if we surpass that, and that's because we feel that we have a lot of information to share, a lot of interesting situations that have arisen in the last month and a half, and so that's really driving a lot of this. But it's very helpful, given where we're at with technology, that we're able to go ahead and film some episodes outside the studio, because we do have a lag time with filming in the studio versus when those episodes air and when they're available. And so we like to balance that as much as we can, because we don't want to miss topics and miss again those current events that are happening fast and furious with Voices for Voices. Some you may know about, and a lot of them you probably don't, and you'll find out in the coming days and weeks and months ahead. Very exciting time. Voices for Voices, doing a lot of things I didn't know how they were going to manifest themselves, and it's really incredible just to see and take a step back, and I'm able to do that more with these in studio episodes as I'm able to not be so close to the screen, and that I'm able to have a little more of a freer mind, if that makes any sense. So this episode here today, we're going to really continue that process of talking about current events, talking about things that are directly impacting Voices for Voices, as well as the public. And we are a huge advocate. So that's first and foremost what Voices for Voices is we're an advocate for those that are able to share their voice, or someone that's able to share their voice for them. And that could come through me, that could come through a guest. And we really just want to bring as much information, much content. And as we've stated from episode 1 really on, we present information, we talk about stories, experiences, and facts, and so we're gonna continue to do that. And I know there are some out there, some of our new viewers and watchers the last I guess now probably the last couple months, maybe 2 or 3 months, that don't really like that because it's exposing some things that shouldn't usually be going on. Some we'll cover in these episodes here in the studio and at home, and some we'll be finding out through other means of communication, of what those are and what's happening. But we just wanted to share with you. We're very grateful, very thankful to have you with us, whether you're watching or listening, whether this is your first episode or you've been with us for the now over 270 episodes. Take a look back through our catalog and check out some of those other episodes. They're all powerful, in my opinion, but I can almost guarantee there's at least one other episode in our catalog that is powerful, that will speak to you or somebody you know. And so as we kind of get started into this episode, we're going to talk about a couple of terms and then their definitions, and then we're going to dive in and get into some of the information I was alluding to. So here we go. And again, we do talk about difficult topics that if somebody is not properly handling themselves, or maybe doing questionable behavior that may not quite be with what our laws are, if that's one of you, I'm sorry, but we're going to cover it anyways because that's how we are. So the first term is blackmail. And so we wanted to find strictly the definition, give it to you straight. So this is coming from the Oxford Languages off of Google. And blackmail is a noun, and that's the action treated as a criminal offense of demanding payment or another benefit from someone in return for not revealing compromising or damaging information about them. And so this definition that's listed here is, quote, they were acquitted of the charges of blackmail, end quote. It could also be used as a verb, meaning it could be a demand on money or another benefit from someone in return for revealing compromising or damaging information about them. And the example that's listed here is, quote, they used this fact to blackmail him or her, trying to force him to vote for the candidate. And so wanted to start out there, and then it goes a little bit along with it, is the term bribe, and bribe is really a very similar to blackmail in the overall sense. And so again, from the Oxford Languages off of Google, the definition of a bribe can be a verb, and that can mean dishonestly persuade someone to act in one's favor by a gift of money or other inducement. And bribe can also be a noun, and again, from the Oxford Languages off of Google, is a sum of money or other inducement offered or given to bribe someone. So there's that connection there. And so the definition, or the example for the noun part of bribe is, quote, lawmakers were caught accepting bribes to bring in legalized gambling, end quote. And so you may ask, what's this have anything to do with Voices for Voices, our TV show and podcast? And probably up until, again, a couple months ago, probably didn't have a whole lot to do it with Voices for Voices, but because events happen and it seems that we're getting more popular as time goes on. And one of those areas, and I'm not going to be able to reveal exactly how and what the means are, but we know, and this is another incredible piece that I've learned, is that our TV show and podcast is getting to individuals in the White House. So there are, for example, we had, and you've seen a couple episodes, on the Take It Down Act, which is now the Take It Down Law, with Elliston Berry, her mom, Miss Anna, in Dallas, dealing with those deepfake nudes, and Senator Cruz championed that effort, bipartisan, in the House and the Senate, Democrat, Republican, Independent. Everybody came together and said, you know what, images that are altered and against somebody's wishes without them knowing, or even if they do know that it's something that they don't want, that should be a law against that. So big tech has 48 hours to take those images down on their end, as well as it is now a federal, it's a felony to commit any of these acts. They're able to be prosecuted, which just a few short months ago, that was not the case. So now that's federal law. And so as we do with a lot of our guests, and really anybody really kind of converses with us, is we keep in touch, we talk, and so we're well aware that that the First Lady Melania Trump is aware of Voices for Voices of our show and podcast, and there's others in the administration, and that's really an honor as we're 2 years plus into really being and a voice for others and for ourselves, and it's just incredible to be looking at the camera and knowing that a staffer somewhere in the White House, all the way up to President Trump's been made aware of at least one of the episodes that we've had in the past. So that's also why we're tackling the big topics, is because we want to stay true to ourselves, and we don't want to shortchange anybody for any of their time that they're taking to spend with us, whether you're watching, listening, whether you're at an airport, on an airplane, on a subway, a train, a bus, in your living room, in your dorm room, in a classroom. And so we take things, we take topics, we take them very serious. So we talk about blackmail and bribe, and we say, well, okay, what's that have to do with Voices for Voices? Well, one of our episodes that we filmed out of the studio between our last in-studio episode and where we're at now filming is episode number 266, and that's titled Breaking Silence, the Truth About False Accusations. And so again, this is an episode that we have out there. You can watch it, you can listen to it, Voices for Voices, anywhere you can find us. And so when we talk about the blackmail and bribe, what's that have to do with Voices for Voices? Well, one of our guests is I say, but more of a higher profile, and talks about higher profile topics and subjects. I think we all know who that is. We talk about human trafficking and in terms like that. And so this guest that we've had on, his stepfather has been, brought into the Voices for Voices mix. And what I mean by that, I mean that people that we have found through facts and previous shows we've done where we've held up actual messages and photos and the human trafficking hotline case number. And so through all those things, we've found again that some of the individuals that are watching and listening to us are part of some activity that could be looked at as a little bit
not on the up and up. And part of that is reaching these individuals who we've named before. We'll name them again because it's fact. And so in this episode, 266, the stepfather of one of our guests we had was mentioned by some of these, individuals that aren't doing very nice things. And these individuals said that the stepfather of our guest, our past guest, is trafficking him and kidnapped him, and all these accusations. And so they're coming after the people doing the bad things, are coming after the human trafficking survivor and then the stepdad and saying, "Oh, human trafficking survivor, you're the one actually trafficking your own stepdad." And so that's why this is important. This is why we talked about bribes and blackmail up front. And so here's a quote from that episode. Again, episode 266. You can find the transcript. You can find it to watch, listen. It's out there. And so this is a quote from the stepfather. Quote, "Nobody kidnapped me in 2015. That's a complete falsehood. Steve Reimers," which is the stepfather of the human trafficking survivor, he said in an interview, we had him on because we wanted to try to clear up some things, some accusations. And so Steve was setting the record straight about the bizarre accusations in our latest episode, which at the time, that was the latest episode, number 266. And I'm just going to read through the description. I usually don't do this, but it's very important that we have this included. So this is the description that is with episode 266. So, quote, "Falsehoods can spread like wildfire in today's connected world, but sometimes the simplest way to extinguish them is through honest conversation." And that's really what we're doing here, Voices for Voices. In this revealing episode, Justin Allen Hayes, that's me, of course, we welcome Steve Reimers. So this is the stepfather of a previous guest, victim of human trafficking. Mr. Reimers directly addresses a series of disturbing accusations made by an individual named Brian Davis. And so Brian Davis is one of the not nice individuals, which we've shown through proof, through facts, to be the case. So it might not like that, but a fact is a fact. And so Brian Davis, he has, and I can speak from experience, he's harassed the Solomons, which is our guest, our past guest, human trafficking survivor. Yeah, he's harassed Mr. Reimers. He's harassed my family and myself. And so as we jump back into the description, with remarkable clarity, Reimers systematically dismantles numerous false claims, beginning with the assertion that he was kidnapped in 2015, something he categorically denies ever happening. The conversation unveils a troubling pattern of manipulation as Reimers shares details about emails he's received from Mr. Brian Davis, attempting to turn him against the Solomons. So we talk about blackmail and bribes. What's that have to do with Voices for Voices? Well, we're getting into that here. He's trying to gain control. Mr. Davis is trying to gain control of the intellectual property. So any writings, any books, any screenplays, any pilots, TV shows, movies that the human trafficking survivor has and is doing, that Mr. Davis is going after because he thinks he's entitled to that, which we would come out and say we don't think he's entitled to that. That's not his work. And so as we continue, Mr. Brian Davis, so Mr. Reimers is speaking now about Mr. Brian Davis, he's trying to basically get me to sell you down the river. And that's talking
about the human trafficking survivor, Mr. David Solomon. And so Mr. Davis is trying to get Mr. Reimers, the stepfather of our past guest, David Solomon, to give all his writings, all that information, all those things that could be perceived as very lucrative. And so we think that might be a reason why Mr. Brian Davis is doing that. And then it says the discussion. So again, episode 266, you can find all this. The discussion takes a concerning turn when Reimers confirms that Mr. Brian Davis has actively, so this is a step further here, has actively interfered with his business selling hyperbaric chambers, attempting to damage his livelihood by contacting his professional connections. And so that's interesting, right? So Mr. Reimers has been offered, and I can't give specifics exactly, but it's over $50,000 and over $100,000, over $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, over that amount. I can't get into the specifics due to investigations that are happening. But Mr. Brian Davis attempted to bribe Mr. Reimers to get the intellectual property, the writings, the screenplays, the novels, all those, past, present, and future, to get those to Mr. Brian Davis. And those aren't Mr. Brian Davis's. So Mr. Brian Davis is acting in a little bit of a bribe because he's trying to, and has tried to bribe Mr. Reimers and saying, hey, I'll give you this money. Again, it's over $50,000, and we'll be seeing here in the future why $50,000 is the number I'm using, but I can't share that as of right now. So we consider that a bribe. That kind of falls in with the definition that we shared at the beginning of the show of bribing. So Mr. Davis offering a sum of money for something in return. So instead of Mr. Brian Davis offering a sum of money to a group of voters to vote a certain way, it's Mr. Brian Davis offering money to bribe Mr. Stephen Reimers to do something that's in Mr. Brian Davis's favor, but not in Mr. Solomon or human trafficking survivors' best interest at all. And so that's one thing, and we're going to be sharing a couple of others that show this pattern of behavior. So these are facts. And so, Mr. Davis, I know you're watching. I know you're listening. Hi, thank you for giving us some extra boost with some downloads and listens. We appreciate that. But what you're doing is wrong. It is wrong on so many levels. And the fact that you are accusing somebody, that you're accusing the human trafficking survivor of trafficking his own stepdad, well, right here, as you can check out, as well as all our other viewers and listeners here in the United States and across the world, can find out for themselves that Mr. Reimers says, no one's ever kidnapped me. I come and go as I please. Not in 2015, not in any other time was I ever kidnapped, trafficked by anyone. I come and go as I please, and that is that's very telling. That's very straightforward. And again, this is us coming with facts. So this isn't me just throwing out information. We start with the definitions, bribery, blackmail, and then we're getting into specifics of how it relates to Voices for Voices and how it's impacting one of our past guests who, again, has gone through some horrific conditions, things that have occurred that should not occur to any human being, any pet, anybody. And so for this to happen, and so for me, I was taken back by these things, because as you know, if you're watching and listening, at the kind of the beginning, a couple months back, before we started really getting into, the idea of what human trafficking is, what may or may not have occurred, and who may or may not be involved, the first thing we did as an organization is call that National Human Trafficking Hotline. And we sat on the phone for, an hour and a half. And at the end of that time, we were able to speak to a representative that was able to confirm that there is indeed a national human trafficking case number associated with Mr. Solomon, who brought that information to us. And so we believed in good faith then, and we believe in good faith now, that something nefarious definitely happened. And we have more facts that prove that than we do otherwise. And that's really what this episode is about. It's sharing that these aren't just things that happen in the movies and that are talked about. And this isn't the last bribe that Mr. Davis, we're going to actually be covering this in our next episode, so you're going to want to tune in next week for that episode, where we're going to continue this conversation on the bribing and blackmail that Mr. Brian Davis has done. And again, these are facts. These aren't things that can be. I mean, you try to refute them, but we have a guest, and Mr. Reimers is not. He's not connected with Voices for Voices at all. I never talked to the man before this interview. I mean, you hear things, right? You hear things through the grapevine, and you hear rumors and all that. But I wanted to hear it for myself, and I wanted it to be on our show. I wanted it to be recorded, and so that's what it was. So we recorded it. That's episode 266. It's very eye-opening. It's hard to believe, but that's something that Mr. Brian Davis is directly involved with. So again, we don't take this lightly. So Mr. Davis, sorry that this is the case, but you kind of put yourself in that position. So we know that might make you upset, might make you mad, but I didn't do it. I didn't give money or offer money to Mr. Reimers to try to get Mr. Solomon's works. I didn't do that. And you're going to find out on the next episode what else Mr. Brian Davis has tried to bribe, and something that he an additional layer to this. So we invite you to come back with us. As always, check out our catalog of other episodes. You're going to find them be very, very helpful, and you follow us. That'd be excellent. We're all audio platforms, YouTube, Rumble, and then we're on Hudson Community Television every Wednesday at 4 p.m. We drop a new episode. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Until next time, be a voice for you or somebody in need. And God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world and all the humans that live on it.